How's it going, YouTube? Welcome back to day 2 of the $24 to $1,000 challenge. Let's have a look at the top hands that happened on this day. Now here you can see my Hold'em Manager 2 with a couple of hands to replay. I'm actually gonna split it up in two of them. First of all, I actually get a little bit crushed by our stream viewers who joined the Pillar 2 action in these first hands. I don't think in this hand it's the case. But here we basically have a top set and no ace of spades and a jack, so we have a gut shot as well added to our top set, and we stack off on the flop here. I think it's quite standard. Unfortunately, he did not only have 10 jack, which would have been fine with me, being some equity percentages short, because he could also have obviously just a nut flush draw here and sometimes gonna do something really stupid with a set of kings in the gutter or something like that. And yeah, just cannot really fold at this point. Unfortunately, he has 65%, so he's at the top of his range. Now, here we get the aces called 4-betting. And bet the flop, get check called, and on turn rip it. And unfortunately, he just, again, has the top set here. Not really much I can do here. It's really good for my range as well. To jam some, even very, very light hands, not just aces here, and make him fold a single king because of the 4, right? That's basically the purpose of the bet when we don't have aces. Now here we raise call against one of our stream viewers here, Imba Jimba. As you can see, his session stats are super loose, and on the flop, he really wants to commit all his chips, which could be the nut flush draw or a mate hand. It's a little bit of a mix of it. Either way, I'm, just trying to improve, and I do, and unfortunately he does have the nut flush draw and takes down a very big pot again. Here we have aces and bet the flop with a lot of our nut flush draws, and then surprisingly just donks a turn. Now this strategy here is that I'm not racing with a single hand, just calling all my nut flushes, and then, probably even folding some of the blockers because I expect him to be quite stubborn. If I cannot improve with just a blocker, I might not even float at this point. But I do have top set to go with it, and against a bet on the river I go follow through and jam. This is going to be a bluff to value ratio of about like 1 in 5. I'm going to have one bluff for 5 value hands here, more or less. Unfortunately this time I have to bluff, and he even snap calls the queen eye flush, which is pretty bad, but that's PLO2. I don't think though that I should, if I know he's calling, then never bluffing is fine, but I didn't know that before he called, so I just decided to still bluff some of my hands. Here, unfortunately, the pot is already pretty large, and on a turn blank, we get the money in here against middle set. On, higher stakes, this, at some point I would go for a check. Especially because these cold calls can be quite strong. Here I think they couldn't be anything, so I didn't have also the stats at that point, fortunately. He has the top of his range here again, and not ace queen or king queen or something like that. Here against Imba Jemba again, we do decide to go just for check calls like we did almost the entire time, and on the river he hits a king, where I probably just bluff catch with ace queen and queen 10, and that's about it. Unfortunately I have ace queen, which if he didn't 4-bet it, which he might have not, who knows, ace king definitely, but ace queen sometimes he might just call. Then he would also have this for value, I think. So yeah, definitely gonna have to call with this hand. So this is the first half of the hands where I dropped quite a bit. Also towards the end of the session, again, not such a good run. And then let's have a look at some of the other side of the hands, which is the winning hands, where we have aces here and the money goes all in. So you can see that they do quite some weird stuff sometimes. Or for example, when you go ahead and check raise, it's just 3-bet the bottom 2 for 200 big blinds, and that was a there's a reason why you can have such great win rates here at PLO2 if everything goes normal, because once in a while, once every 500,000 hands, you get someone doing this, and then you basically get it in with 95% of equity for a lot of chips. So aces here again, and here we got Veteran coming over with a 4-bet, and unfortunately for him, I do have the aces this time on the button 3-betting. and yeah, take down a quite nice pot. And also the other dude had a rainbow hand. Here we raise call. Oh no, we just raise and get check raised on the flop. Just call on the turn again. And on the river he jams or just bet calls for the rest, and we take down another pretty nice pot. So this has been the winning hands. Other than that, I think there's a couple of more hands that I could go through. I think we saw almost everything. And there's also quite a run good hand here where, you know, I played some NL2, try to mix it up a little bit with rec speed, and that's also the plan going into day 3, which is going to be tomorrow, or when you're watching this, probably on the same day. So I'm going to be streaming on twitch.tv/AndreasFröhlich, and you can follow me on day 3. We're at $68, $69, I think, at the moment, and trying to make it to $1,000 within 30 days. And here we basically got, you know, pretty nice hand. Top third pair, the money goes in, and taking on another $5 pot. You know, hopefully this won't happen again in the near future, because it was actually pretty tilting. Playing 6,300 hands on micro stakes on the lowest limit and not getting it in any good. As you can see, obviously the variance got quite pushed by some people coming over to the channel. I think there's also one hand where I lost quite a bit with, where is that? Against another streamer. It's this hand here where Kuken Musa comes over to the PL2 streets and, you know, flops the nuts. Where I was a little bit suspicious on the flop, but given that he also played so loose, I think he could have obviously any king, and, you know, decided to, you know, play cautiously still. And unfortunately I made the second nuts on the river, so felt, you know, that I had to call here, obviously. And, you know, he ran into the king jack here as well, gets stacked for another 100 big blinds. So I hope you guys enjoyed this small review. So the plan going forward is playing rec speed, PL2, NL2, trying to find really good tables that, you know, the best as I can, even take some notes, especially on rec speed and not zoom. If I play some zoom sometimes, and I'm, you know, gonna play 4 tables of that, but I'm also trying to, you know, basically put 2 featured tables up. I have a new layout for the next stream where you can see maybe 2 tables big, and I see whether the audience likes it a bit more. But at the same time, I want to, you know, basically play as many tables as possible. I want to move up to PL05 and NL5 as soon as, you know, on day 5 or 4 or 5, depending on how it goes on day 3. And then, you know, trying to mix it a little bit with those limits. And as soon as I lose a little bit on, you know, 2 cents, 5 cents, I'm going to go back again, you know, making this really reasonable bankroll management and getting it to $1,000 without just trying to, you know, have a risk of ruin, especially at this point, because at the start I obviously did have that risk of ruin, but now I think I'm over that, you know, hill a little bit. So thanks for watching this video. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up, and then see you guys on Monday. Maybe that's when you're watching this. So head over to my Twitch channel. It's also in the description below. And if you like this content, don't forget to subscribe.